Rise! Rise in revolution! Rise! Rise in revolution! Everybody, one for all! Sound off! This is the call! Rise! Like we're alive! Tonight we rise! Make a better life! Tonight we rise! 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 Rise in revolution! Rise!
So, I guess I'll start off. Sentinel Prime has the obvious speed of taking on Prime. Optimus Prime just body bag Shockwave.
Oof. Okay. I would respond by saying that when Optimus fully challenged Shockwave, he had basically been taking on a whole group of Autobots on his own, and he already had believe he had the damage to his eye, so he was even then, and he still wasn't. He was killed pretty quickly, but he wasn't.
Decepticons of Shockwave. Optimus Prime came down and went ham on him. And after that, basically one shot Shockwave.
Hold up, let me. Let's see if I'm recalling what happened.
Basically, Optimus Prime shot his ass with a knuckle dusters, punched him in the face yet again, and ripped out his throat, and basically killed him. That Sentinel Prime fights Prime, and the difference between Prime is that they both, Sentinel has a feat of fighting Prime, Shockwave doesn't.
Hold on, I'm trying to watch the fight scene and see if I can pick out the moment I'm thinking of. Alright, then I'll probably just say he mainly lost since he was weakened by the attacks from the humans. And the humans have shown they've been able to consistently hurt and do damage to Decepticons in general, as well as Transformers. As you can see in the next movie, the humans were able to fuck up Ratchet with some of their weaponry, which seems, from what I recall, is similar in nature to what they used against Shockwave.
Well, one, that's a different military, just 20 years later. Second, again, you have to prove that they scaled Optimus.
I would say that since they kind of gangbanged him, took him off guard, from the looks of it, he wasn't expecting to get rained above on. And I would also say it's probably not expected someone to go for your eye. So I would say he would either most likely be off guard on that instance, and plus when Optimus did come up to get him, Shockwave had pretty much been already fucked up at that point. So it seems like Optimus basically had just the finishing blow on him because it was pretty much already done for, being gangbanged.
I'm not contesting the fact that he finished off Shockwave. I'm just contesting on whether or not you can prove that they scaled Optimus.
Well, I would say it would be pretty reasonable to scale Shockwave comparable to Megatron, because I believe there is a time that he said he is stronger than one version of him, like a weakened version, and that weakened one could go at least against Optimus a little bit.
Well, you're aware that Megatron fucked up Sentinel was actually an off-guard feat from Megatron.
I am aware, but I would also say since they're essentially metallic, that they can't really it's not like a human where you were tensing up, your tissue would be a bit firmer to reserve damage. They're a solid metal, and I wouldn't think them being off guard could really be. The only thing it would probably play the advantage to is they wouldn't know it was coming, but not necessarily their defenses were down.
That's contradicted by the fact that they either can become stronger or weaker. Sentinel managed to rip off Prime's arm when he was weakened. And then, of course, there's also the fact that Optimus Prime scales above everything else in Age of Extinction, like Dark of the Moon or below. So that wouldn't necessarily mean that.
I
Just
would
'cause
say
they're
the
metal.
only reason Sentinel really got that is because at the time you can see when he delivers the blow. Then you can see Optimus isn't fully trying to actively defend at the time, at least from what I recall. So I could say that in essence, Sentinel did catch him off guard a little bit with the arm rip off.
Yeah, it's also because Prime was weakened by then. If that was a full strength Prime, he would have just torn off Sentinel's head. Since by then Optimus had the resolve to kill Sentinel. It's just the difference is, right? Sentinel has the feet, and that Shockwave doesn't have the feet.
It'll be the same that that Shockwave had been injured at that point, the time of Prime coming up on him in the first place, and this was a Prime that wasn't hindered by anything. He basically came in and wrecked house, not like the weakened one that Sentinel fought.
He was weakened. What are you talking about?
He didn't seem weakened to me with how he was acting.
Shockwave shot the shit out of Prime while he wasn't looking, right? And then after that, he fell through a building. The Wreckers had to get him out. And then sometime after the Wreckers got him out is when he bulled on the Decepticons. Basically went back to base form. And then after that, that's when he bulled on Shockwave. But keep in mind that one, Shockwave still fucked him up from an off-guard feat. Second,
Yeah.
Optimus Prime already bulled on an army of Decepticons by then. So Optimus was already not at full strength when he killed Shockwave. It was even worse when he fought Sentinel. It's just the difference is, right? Sentinel has a better feat of fighting Prime, whereas say Shockwave got fucked up, so there's nothing to really say that can actually put Shockwave concretely above Sentinel. So again, can you prove Shockwave even scales to Prime?
I would say I don't think I can at the moment at least prove he's more powerful, but I think I can say he's comparable enough that the way he fights, he'd be able to take out Sentinel. Be a more strength power.
Yeah, and that's fine, right? It's just the problem is, right? There's just more of a preponderance for Sentinel due to the fact he has a feat of taking on Prime.
Okay.
It's just problem is, right? It's just hard to argue Shockwave.
I would say that Shockwave would still be comparable enough to hurt him, especially with his Astromag cannon, and that the way.
Yeah, I'm fine with saying that, right?
Yeah.
It's just the whole point of it would just to argue Sentinel above Shockwave. I mean, now that you can state it, I'm going to go ahead and say that yeah, I did argue Devil's Advocate. I do actually know how to make the argument. So you want to hear it?
That's why I was going into my argument of he would use even without not being stronger to win the fight, he could just simply use strategy, and the power of his Astromag would allow him to take him out from a distance before Sentinel could close in.
Yeah, which fine, right? So, which by the way, you're aware that eyes are an actual weak spot.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, so Shockwave being fucked up was from a weak spot. Second, because the fact he managed to damage Prime, even if Prime was off guard, would already prove that he'd have a long distance advantage. Second, the scaling to put Sentinel above, the scaling to put Shockwave above Sentinel It's because Shockwave was a greater threat at the time. That's something you could have argued. Wait, did you?
No, I'm still here.
Oh,
I
thought
didn't
someone left.
even really know, like, because I thought we were just like debating over whether who would win in a fight. So I went with strength. I'm like, okay, I'm not going to be able to do strength. I'm going to have to rely on something else, which I was going to use the whole strategy argument that since Shockwave has a large amount of experience in being really, really old, he would have a large amount of experience to rely on, that he could take on Sentinel and use his experience to his advantage to deal with Sentinel at a distance and basically either weaken him to the point he could come in and kill him, or just kill him flat out from a distance, just pegging him with the astromag.
Yeah.
And since
I mean,
he's a sharpshooter,
obviously we know, right? Like Shockwave is like consistently above Sentinel, but like again, the point of this debate would just to have like a little fun. But actually, since that was a little short, let's find something else to debate. Okay, so we're just gonna use So do you want to just go off the movies and not the comics?
I guess.
Okay, so
We'll debate that on it.
do you want to debate the Fallen versus Sentinel then? If we're just using the movies.
Fuck no. Fuck no.
All right. All right. You want to argue Brawl versus Starscream?
Not really.
Fuck. All right.
Oh, that's who I was thinking of getting gangbanged by the whole team of Autobots. It was fucking Brawl, not Shockwave.
Yeah, it was Brawl. Well, anyway, so.
Fucking
What sounds fun to debate right now?
I honestly do not know.
Shit. All right. Oh fuck. Okay. Alright, what's the first thing that comes in your mind when you think of Revenge of the Fallen?
Give me your face.
Well, yeah, besides that,
I can't remember. Oh, fucking poor Scorponok got killed.
alright, how about this?
Wait, is that the movie where also Blackout got shot in the dick?
That was the first movie. Okay, how about this?
Yeah, that's even worse. Poor Blackout got shot in the
Alright.
damn dick.
I'm right below the enemy's testicles.
Alright, who do you think would win? Megatron or Devastator in Revenge of the Fallen?
Devastator? The combination dude.
Yeah, that's Devastator. That's the constructed confusion in a Devastator.
Okay, I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna go into kind of detail. Okay, so Devastator, he's big. Like, he a big boy. But, like, I feel like he wasn't as good as what he was built up to be. Like, he basically just got, oh wait, nah. Okay, I'm thinking of something else. I was like, he got taken out by an airstrike, and I was like, oh nah. Got taken out by that, like, experimental rail cannon. So that's
Yeah, that was off guard.
yeah.
It would have been impossible for Devastator to even know he was going to get hit.
Yeah, I would say he doesn't seem quite as smart as, like, it's either that's just how he fights, or he just doesn't seem as smart as he normally does. And I would say probably at that point, like, obviously Megatron, like, getting fucked up by upgraded Optimus, that Megatron could possibly beat him via experience and skill. And also the fact that that's the movie where it was like Megatron, Starscream, and some big helicopter dude that got decapitated by Optimus. Isn't that where they actually beat down Optimus and basically killed him before he got upgraded?
And what? Well, in Revenge of the Fallen, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
What it was basically a nerfed Optimus Prime. Otherwise, he would have killed all three of them.
Oh shit, I remembered. They also rebuilt Megatron in that one. Well, not fully rebuilt.
Yeah.
But...
So, anyway, So, who do you think would win in Revenge of the Fallen? Devastator or Megatron?
I'd say it's a possibility that I would probably more side with maybe Megatron, just based off what I've seen of him and what I've known, because all I know of like Devastator is just how big he is, and I think I forget what's the name of one. He did suck one up, but he just spit him back out, which is probably just some dumb comedy thing more than anything like important.
Well, yeah, you're thinking of Skids and Mudflap, and I mean, honestly, Devastator wasn't really focusing on them that much.
Yeah.
Since obviously Devastator was mainly focused on the fucking tower or pyramid, but I mean, I'm willing to rep Devastator, and you can rep Megatron if you want.
I don't feel like that'll go my way though. You have a mystical way with Transformers that I just don't. I can't comprehend, man.
All right, so
Just gonna say, yeah, Devastator, big as fuck. He literally stomps.
all right, so you're willing to say Devastator stomps?
I'm not debating you on it, but I feel like that's what you would say. He just literally squishes him.
All right, so I mean, I guess that's it then, right? That's it.
Yeah, no, I'm not even attempting that. I know exactly.
So
You're a Will Smith. You're like a wordsmith, man. I'm like, damn.
well, so I guess that's it then. Do you have like anything you want to add? Geek, do you have anything you want to
Debate
add?
whether or not Blackout should have gotten shot in the dick.
The dick was the weak spot. You fucking know it, but
Yeah, I know. Like, come on.
I can't really think of anything.
Dick going.
all right. Well,
I don't know if he does. Blackout versus Soundwave.
Hey, RoboCop, get it? Like RoboCop.
anyway, so Calvert Zoo.
Huh?
All right. I geek come on mute. All right. Hey. You want to do Brawl versus Blackout?
Oh, fuck, not really.
All right.
Because I
You want-
know how the fuck that's gonna go.
Well, I mean, I'm willing to take either side because it's debated all the fucking time.
You know what? One fight interests me. I don't know if you've done it. I can't recall if you do. Blackout versus Soundwave.
That sounds fun to debate, I guess.
They're really connected when you think about it. They both got like pets. Blackout's got Scorponok, and then Soundwave has the
all right.
bird.
Tell you what, all right. Who do you want to rep?
Oh shit, it's Sun.
I don't know.
Well-
Who to be honest, because I love both. They're like my favorite Decepticons.
I mean, do you want to rep Soundwave? Or do you want to rep Blackout? Because I can rep either.
I don't know because I don't have like currently any info. I haven't watched back on them yet, so I would have no idea. I can't remember much about them.
All right, we can debate that at a later date, I guess. So.
Yeah, because all I really know, if like including the one game that I had that was linked to the movies, is that if you went off that, Blackout beat like Ironhide, and that's it.
Well, I think Ironhide scales above Blackout and Dark of the Moon, but
No, I'm just saying that's just like from the games. I don't even know if the games are actually canon, so I don't know.
not really. I'm talking about just the movies.
Yeah, no.
So you can argue that Dark of the Moon, the game's like canon to the comics, but other than that, no. So
Who do you have you seen that one video where they take like the original Soundwave from the Transformers cartoons and they they fuck with his voice? He's constant auto tune.
Alright, so alright, what fight like really interests you that you're willing to do in the movie? I'll take like either side for whatever character. Oh, I don't mind.
I think I know a cool. Hold up, let me see.
Because do you 4 and up, or do you want to do 3 and down?
What does that mean? I'm gonna be honest, I don't know what that means.
Age of Extinction is 20 years after Dark of the Moon, so basically Age of Extinction, like one shots Dark of the Moon or below. Dark of the Moon, no, well, it's a trilogy of Prime, so.
Hey, Gravity, why don't you just suggest Optimus Prime versus Bumblebee and you use Optimus? I'm just kidding.
No, I don't want that murder.
Okay, how about this? I will rep Bumblebee from Revenge of the Fallen, and you can rep Megatron from the first. Holy hell, dude! Choose the fucking debate. Holy hell.
Jazz versus Sideswipe?
Okay, who do you want to rep? Jazz or Sideswipe?
I like both. Hold up. Of course, you know, I'm gonna quote unquote cheat a bit, not really. Because this
But
shit's...
I mean, like, who do you want to rep?
I think I'm gonna go with Jazz. I'm gonna try Jazz.
Okay. Alright, so I'm gonna argue that when Ironhide and Sideswipe were dealing with Crankcase and his other goon, I'm gonna argue that by then Sideswipe scales Ironhide. Ironhide, who by this point is stronger than Jazz, would mean that Sideswipe should fucking one shot or at least over dominate.
Okay, I'm gonna say, if I recall, wait, I'm gonna say that. Fuck. I'm trying to remember. You said
You're
Dark.
gonna argue that Jazz scales the brawl, right?
No, not fully.
Okay.
I was gonna say he did harm Brawl and Megatron very slightly, but it's just enough to knock him back like a little bit, not major. And I
You
will
did realize
also,
Megatron was only nudged, right?
yeah, I know. I'm just saying it still does something. It's not like he full on just stood there and took the shit, you know, and like obviously no sold the fuck out of it. I'm not saying because that's the movie where is Megatron's like a whole badass. He's not weakened by anything. He's been thought out. He's got no real hindrance, and he's just an absolute monster throughout the movie. More so than his seemingly comedic like appearances in Dark of the Moon, Revenge of the Fallen. At least to me, it seems more comedic. So that's what. And I'll also say that he would also be a little roughly comparable to Ironhide as well. Have that, but obviously not the same Ironhide, of course. So it would be only minor scaling to a weaker Ironhide than the one that Sideswipe could scale to.
Alright, I'll tell you what. Alright. Prove Megatron in the first movie even scales to like fucking Ironhide in the third movie. Because you're aware that in Revenge of the Fallen threw an AoE attack that damaged everyone, and Ironhide tanked that shit while being weakened.
Oh shit, I remember it. Didn't like Ironhide just get he got like shot in the side and he like still dodged the AoE thing unharmed.
Well, it was more. It was more or less a relativistic feat, but it's still a feat. Like it was when the Fallen was coming down to steal the Matrix, but basically, the Fallen basically threw an attack and everyone dodged it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm saying that feat that the Fallen did would be enough of a feat to put Ironhide above movie 1 Megatron, and obviously he becomes stronger, or at least stays relative to that point in the third movie. And obviously, Sideswipe scales to him because we see the crankcase scenario, right?
Yeah.
So do you have any arguments for like putting Sideswipe relative to
Let
Ironhide?
me. He did tank partially it, that he didn't take like necessarily a full brunt of it, because I can't remember the exact nature. I know it was AoE, but it's obviously AoE is, I would think at least, it's not as effective. It's more dispersed, at least in my, like, because I'm thinking of like I know it's literally not like a grenade, of course, but I'm thinking in that logic right now currently, which I don't know. I don't know shit much about the phone, like the whole nature of his attacks. Like, he could have taken the full brunt or not. But I'm gonna say he probably did
His
not take a significant portion of it, and that via Megatron has shown, since he's really more powerful than like regular Decepticons, that that he would still be as strong as possibly even the Dark of the Moon Ironhide. I wouldn't say like a whole league above him, because obviously we know Transformers can grow in power, even though it
yeah,
seems weird to common people that a robot can grow more power, but they can train basically just like people.
yeah. So here. Let me like interrupt you real quick, not to be rude, but you're gonna like make a loaded argument. So, all right, let's tackle the thing with the Fallen first. So, you're aware that AoE attacks in Transformers are relative to a concentrated attack in Transformers?
No,
Obviously, the exception to this is like say weak spots, right? Obviously,
yeah.
but anyway. Because of the fact that AoE attacks are relative to a concentrated attack in the movies, I'd still say that's more than enough of a feat of Ironhide to put him above movie 1 Megatron. We know this because the Fallen is scales above Megatron. We know this because Powered Up Prime fucked up Megatron by like basically slicing off his arm and then blowing him through the wall.
Well,
But had trouble with the Fallen.
he fucking took Megatron's arm, pointed it into his face, blasted his face off with his own arm cannon, then ripped his fucking wall, making him look all fucked up and having him cry like a little bitch, and then give me your face to fucking Fallen. I would say that, at least from what I remember, that Megatron was not at 100% peak at all. Due to the fact that in the first one, he's basically in 100% condition, while they basically found his ass at the bottom of the ocean, and they needed to fix him up to get him up and running again. And he even seems to portray himself. He doesn't seem to do as well in fights as what he would probably do, as in what he did in the first movie, where he's pretty much heavily contending. He can very heavily contend with Optimus. He easily killed Case Jazz, who, while can knock him back the tiniest of fucking bits, just does it like it's absolutely nothing, as well as even toying with him. But I'd also say that he was definitely also much more serious, and he didn't seem as joking or kind of as reservist as Megatron is in the second movie. So I would say, even with the stuff that the Fallen, oh fuck, I fucked myself up.
You're gonna mention a feat about the Fallen and his person. Go ahead and continue.
Oh no, fuck! Shit, I actually forgot what the fuck I was saying. Oh shit. Yeah, I would say just the absolute power of Optimus is the fuck. I'm sorry.
You're gonna make an argument about Prime's power, right? Like Powered Up Prime.
That's I think what I was going with. It was that he was heavily contending with Optimus in the first movie, and then he just got body bud. So if it was like Ironhide was comparable, because I think it would be kind of weird to have Ironhide beaten Megatron even at that point, and that he even if he did, it would be better than a weaker Megatron rather than fucking like a fully powered Megatron that has no restriction, rather than a weakened one even then. So I would say even with I'm more consistent that he would scale below the Fallen rather than just taking the brunt of the Fallen's attack.
Yeah, I'm not arguing that Ironhide scales above the Fallen, right? It's just my argument is that that's more than enough of a feat to put him above movie 1 Megatron, which would mean that Sideswipe would scale to a Darker Than Moon Ironhide, who scales above movie 1 Megatron.
I would still say that it would probably be more consistent to have him at a lower showings of basically what he's shown in it in even future movies and basically all movies. Which, if I recall, I forget if this is the first movie or the second one, but Ironhide even perceives Starscream as a pretty heavy threat. I forget which exactly movie that is, so I'm probably
Well,
one. Which movie
that's
is
because in the That's because in the first movie, they don't really. In the first movie, the Transformers don't have much protection against an artillery strike, right?
yeah.
And that's also because Starscream's skills above, the Autobots, right? They later go on to fight Brawl, which means that they like grow stronger, or it just means that Starscream is just that much above them, right? I mean, like either way, the first movie, like the battle in Mission City, is a bit of a weird one to debate, but it can be debated though.
Yeah, I think that's just what I'm gonna say. I'd probably say that Ironhide would scale consistently a little bit lower than rather than him having just the 1 feat of taking an attack from the Fallen and saying he's stronger than movie 1 Megatron, when movie 1 Megatron was drastically more powerful than pretty much any other Autobot, with and even heavily contending with Optimus, rather than the one that the second movie Optimus fought. Even though he was upgraded, it was a weakened Megatron. And
Wait, you don't think Ironhide can one-shot fucking Megatron in the first movie?
I wouldn't think so.
Alright, we can debate that too right now if you want.
I don't know. It's just because I'm not like it's 100% caught up on like all the scaling and stuff. So my basically thing is I'm viewing it as the Megatron in the first one. While they can get more powerful, and they definitely have, the Megatron and what he showed in the first movie is so powerful, and how he's scaled through that movie, and the fact that the second one he ended up weaker. That I would say even the scaling to put like Ironhide on the same regard Sideswipe, it would be more of a stretch than having them lower, like easily probably first movie Starscream level, if not even current like Starscream level, which would still likely be weaker than the first movie Megatron, who was basically in his prime, decked out. He wasn't injured in any way. He basically had his whole original body, rather than the second movie where they basically take one of the parts of Devastator in the first one. It's like a bulldozer one, and they add parts
Right.
to it because and those are
Whoa.
inferior in construction and durability than Megatron's original body.
I mean, you do realize that Bumblebee scales above Starscream in Dark of the Moon, right? And Ironhide scales above Bumblebee.
How does he scale to above Starscream, if you don't mind me asking?
Because the humans scale the Starscream from feats, and then Bumblebee scales above the humans. So that's why.
Well, I would say that the one at least I'm thinking of, they fucked up Starscream. Well, especially Sam, is he got his eye, which is a weak spot of the Transformers in general.
And then he also got stabbed in the leg by a fucking boomstick. I mean, regardless, right? It's still enough of a feat for the humans to say Bumblebee's skills above Starscream, since Bumblebee's skills massively above the human. Now, are you willing to concede on Sideswipe versus Jazz, so we can move on to Ironhide versus Megatron?
I don't even know if we can do Iron. I don't even know if I want to do Ironhide and Megatron this, but yeah.
Well, are you willing to concede that Ironhide would like fuck up Megatron?
I don't know. I don't know. I'm gonna need you to sit down with me one day and
All
let me
right,
go.
tell you what. All right, you can concede on that right now, and then we can move on to that at a later date. Deal?
Okay, deal. Concede.
Okay, cool. All right.
I want to know your real opinion. Who do you think would honestly win between Jazz and Sideswipe?
Sideswipe.
Okay.
So.
I mean,
Yeah.
the only reason I went with Jazz is because some of the things I saw possible for him, it looked more advantageous. I do think Swipe would beat him, so I guess I was kind of doing devil's advocate.
Yeah. So.
Because
I mean,
is
regardless, though, there's
Decepticons fairly easily, not even trying basically.
yeah.
Which Jazz can do too, but they're at a way lesser degree. It takes a lot more effort to do what Sideswipe does. Even if you say like they didn't get exponentially stronger. Just Sideswipe in general, she comes off as a lot more stronger, even just basically.
Yes. I mean, regardless, there's a whole ton of things you can debate in the movies. So we can always just find something else to debate, but we can like do Ironhide versus Megatron like maybe a week or so. But anyway, you have like anything to add?
Not really.
Was this at least fun for you?
Yeah, it is honestly. Yeah, I don't know. Leaf Storm was in here the entire time. He's gonna fall asleep and call as well. So. I mean that should be it, right? So. Yeah, like,
Did Blackout die in the first one or the second one? I can't remember because I just
well,
remember.
it's the first movie. The second movie is where we see Grindor get fucked up by Prime. Yeah, so I know I'm in
Oh
here.
yeah, he's the big motherfucker. Okay, yeah.
Falling